oh, screw this, sugar's fine, whatever. You guys, I quit sugar. I quit sugar. Like, I actually quit sugar. Not like I stopped eating cake, not like I stopped eating donuts. Like, I actually quit real legit sugar of all kind, except fruit, of course. I want to tell you why I quit sugar, how I quit sugar, and how you can quit sugar too. Before you stop watching because you're like, that's too big for me, like I cannot do that, stick with me because I literally thought the same thing. January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months ago. It's been 6 months. Oh my gosh. And I want to share with you why I quit and how I had that epiphany and how I've stuck with it and how it's been life-changing in a really, really amazing way. And I want that for you too. So stick with me and just hear me out, okay? That's all I'm asking. Just hear me out. What's up, guys? I'm Amanda and I want to help you live your happiest and healthiest life. I'm going to give you little baby steps along the way so that you can accomplish your really big, scary wellness goals. All right. Today, we are talking about sugar, also known as the devil. I'm just kidding. Relax. Sugar is awful. Stop eating sugar. Again, I'm only kidding. I'll tone it down a little. Pretty passionate about this whole sugar thing. And no, I'm not going to force it on you, but I'm going to give you my point of view and my side of the story. And hopefully you will agree with me over sugar. I hope. This is really important. It's a big deal. It's really important for you and your health. Okay, so how did I get to this point? 6 months, sugar-free. What happened? Why did I do it? And how did I do it? First of all right, so it was probably December 2020, and I was in the bath and I was listening to, I think it was a Gabby Bernstein, one of her podcasts. I'm a Miracle member and every month we get a podcast from her and all these really awesome things. And I think I was listening to that and I heard her say, and I knew this about her, but for some reason, you know, there's a moment when you hear something and you actually pay attention to it and actually means something to you. I know it takes a while. I know I'd heard her say this before, but I didn't pay any attention. She said, I quit sugar XYZ amount of years ago. I feel like the number was 8, but I have no idea. Either way, I heard that and I thought, man, that is crazy. How do you even do that? Like, really, in the world that we live in, especially in America, how do you do that? There's sugar in everything. And she talked about it briefly, very briefly, about, you know, it's not just sugar that she quit, it's all the sweeteners that have sugar in them. And that's what piqued my interest because I was not a processed sugar eater. I was not a regular white flour, white sugar, cake mix person. I was cooking healthy meals with oat flour and a ton of maple syrup, or I was putting agave on something, or I was loading my tea with honey, putting maple syrup in my lattes. You see where this is going. All of my sugar, even like coconut sugar, I had gone down the road of coconut sugar too. All of my sugars were from natural sources and organic and were really like presented to me as some wonderful option. And then there was the dark side of me that was going to Starbucks more than I would like to admit, drinking non-organic coffee, loaded. And when I say loaded, I mean probably, I'm gonna say 20 times the amount of sugar you should have in an entire day in one sitting, and then feeling like absolute dirt afterwards. Really, like, and I convinced myself it was the coffee. I convinced myself that it was caffeine and coffee. And I started drinking decaf lattes with pumps of whatever drizzled with caramel, blah, 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 blah. And I still felt the same way. So when I heard Gabby Bernstein say this, I got a little bit of motivation and I was like, you know what? Why don't I just try this? It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect. I'm gonna lightly try giving up sugar. So the first thing I did was I went online and started doing some research. I found this book. I'm going to share it with you. I'll link it below. I found this book called I Quit Sugar. I Quit Sugar. How appropriate. This book has everything you need. It talks to you about why you should quit sugar. It doesn't go super in depth. Actually, let me back up. This book talks to you about why this woman quit sugar, and she sends you on a journey, which I didn't actually follow precisely, but she does have a good what's the word I'm looking for? She has a good formula for how you can quit sugar. I took some of her stuff out and put it together in my own way, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. But I do recommend you get this book because in the beginning, her recipes that are in there, especially the sweets, really helped me in that first month because it's hard. Quitting sugar is hard, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like traumatic. And that just shows you, number one, how addicted to sugar I was. Even though the sugars I was eating were all natural, real maple syrup, real honey, real local, raw honey, all these things, but it still was sugar, still spiking my blood sugar levels, still having me crash and feel like crap by the end of the day. Okay, so why did I quit sugar? Number one, I liked the idea of the challenge. Number two, I felt motivated and encouraged by these other women who had quit sugar, and I wanted to see what that was like. They were talking about how much energy they had, how their skin looked, how it wasn't as hard and was totally worth it if you really look at the benefits versus the risks. And that's one thing I wanted to say is the benefit of not eating sugar way outweighs the risks of eating sugar. And yes, there are risks. Sugar is sometimes referred to as addictive as cocaine. Now, when I think about that and I look at the amount of sugar that is actually like marketed to our children in cereals and snacks and candies, I get so angry. So I'm not even gonna go down that road, but something to think about. Like, why is it this way? Why are we being served up plates and plates of sugar all the time? Well, it's because it's addicting, and once we have a taste of it, we want more and we want more, and we're gonna buy that candy and we're gonna buy that cereal and we're going to buy those donuts because we can't stop unless you are mindful and conscious of your choices with your food. And that's really what's going to get you to quit sugar, is being mindful and having a why. Why do you want to quit sugar? Is it because you feel terrible when you eat it? Like, really pay attention. Is sugar making you feel terrible? Sugar wreaks havoc on your hormones. Do you feel out of balance? Do you think maybe you have hormonal issues? Do you know that? Have you been told that by a doctor? Sugar is a precursor to serious illnesses like heart disease, cancer, diabetes. That is large in part to sugar. Sugar contributes to fatty liver. Sugar is really bad for our immune system, like really bad for our immune system. We need our immune system to keep us healthy, and sugar contributes to inflammation. It's just a hot mess. Like, all those things I just said are super depressing and downers. So if we take away sugar, can we get rid of those things? I say yes. Now, this again includes organic, natural sweeteners, cane sugar, that's brown sugar. It includes coconut sugar. It includes all that stuff. All those sweeteners that have amounts of sugar in them. Sugar is sugar. That's it. Like, sugar is sugar. Okay, so how do you quit sugar? Number one, you need to make a commitment to yourself. I said to myself, really, it was just me. I didn't go online and blast that I quit sugar. I actually kind of mentioned it to my husband, but I didn't make a big deal out of it because I didn't want to fail and have everybody like, I saw you eating sugar the other day, I thought you quit. So if you're like me and you don't want to fail, keep it to yourself, but make that commitment to yourself. So I made that commitment to myself, a strong commitment to myself that I was going to try my hardest to quit sugar. And I also said to myself, if you slip up in the beginning, I want you to still keep trying. And that's what I did. No matter what, I came back to that promise that I made to myself. And why did I make that promise? Because I am a mom of 3 children and I want to live a really long, healthy life so I can spend it with them and their children and maybe their children's children. I want to live a life where I am healthy so I can do all the fun things that I want to do. I don't want to be a statistic, a woman who ends up with cancer or heart disease or diabetes. I want my immune system to be strong to protect me from viruses. I want my hormones to be nice and balanced. I want to have healthy weight. These are all things that I want. And in order to get those things, I had to give up sugar. And honestly, not that big of a deal to have a healthy life. We get one of them, so why not take it seriously, right? Okay, so remembering why you quit. So those were my whys. You know, I'm doing this because I'm a mom and I want to live a long time for my kids. I'm doing this because I want to do things. I want to be able to go on hikes and ride a bike. I want to have healthy weight. I want to feel good about myself. I want to have energy. That is a big one. I didn't even say that yet. Oh my gosh. I wanted to have energy. So when I would go to Starbucks and get my grande, oh gosh, macchiato, I think I got a macchiato with probably soy milk. By the time I finished that latte, which was usually around 10 a.m., I was wiped. Like, why am I so tired? Something's wrong, something's off. And then I would have anxiety and I'm like, oh, I can't drink coffee. It just gives me anxiety. And so I'll have decaf. But then I started to realize, wait, I am still exhausted after this. And I attribute it to other things. Well, lo and behold, the one thing I didn't want to admit was making me tired was sugar. I didn't want to admit it. Does an addict want to admit that they're an addict? Does an addict want to give up their favorite thing? No, of course not. Duh. But sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. So remember why you quit if you decide to quit. Hey, and guess what? I should have said this a long time ago. Words matter, and I've been saying quit this whole time. In the beginning, I said that I let go of sugar. I just let it go because quit to me has kind of a negative connotation. So I'm choosing foods that don't have sugar or something. Use words that will encourage you. If quitting things makes you feel like that you're losing out on something that you love, if you aren't successful at diets because you think of it as a diet or that you've quit, find other words to use that will encourage you. And also go back to why you quit. I'm afraid to say quit now. Go back to why you let go of sugar and use those words instead. I am a healthy mom. So as you're reaching for that piece of cake or that you're about to order that latte on your phone, think about how healthy you are and think about how that's going to feel after you have it. That's another thing. Visualization really helps. If you can visualize yourself drinking that latte and visualize the feeling that you have afterwards, is it worth it? To me, no, it wasn't worth it. And I'm glad that I made that connection and I made those choices. The other thing I want to say is quitting sugar is not easy. It is extremely hard. It is so hard. You need to have grace for yourself because you might slip up. When you do, you've got to get yourself back on track quickly because again, sugar's addicting and it can be easy to just be like, oh, screw this, sugar's fine, whatever. If you make the commitment and you slip up, remake the commitment and stick to it. It is so worth it. Substitute in the beginning if you have to, and you will have to. I can't tell you, actually I probably can. I made at least 5 batches of brownies in the very beginning, made with 5 different kinds of sweeteners until I finally perfected a sugar-free brownie recipe, homemade on my own, using, actually I think I have the recipe on my blog. I used stevia, or it's Truvia powder. At this point, 6 months later, I really don't rely on that stuff. I have a little bit of an addiction to Lily's dark chocolate sweetened with stevia. I will admit that every once in a while I have a little bit of that, and I do sprinkle a little bit of Truvia on top of my keto coffee in the morning. Other than that, I really don't have any sweeteners, but in the beginning I really needed it. I did. I was finding myself really missing certain things that I didn't even realize I was eating so much. I used to make this recipe with their zucchini muffins, and I would use probably 2 cups of maple syrup in it. And I was missing those. That was something I thought I was eating that was healthy, but really I was just like loading myself up with sugar. So when I gave up sugar, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I eat now? So I made some sugar-free brownies. There are, like I said, a ton of really good recipes in here that will get you through that first month or 2 or 3 of quitting sugar. So take the time to make whatever you need that is sugar-free to get you through it. And then my recommendation is to slowly wean off of that, which is actually really easy. It just happens. For me, I just kind of stopped wanting to make those things. It was kind of a pain in the butt to make them. It wasn't worth it anymore. I didn't miss sugar. I wasn't craving it. So I didn't really need to make a substitute. My challenge to you today is to decide if you want to quit sugar. That might not be your jam right now. And if it's not, then move on. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And there are so many other videos that I have that I would love for you to watch that will help you with your wellness goals. But if you are someone who feels really inspired and motivated to quit sugar today, my challenge to you is to sit down and write out why you want to quit sugar, when you're going to quit, order a book or something that has some recipes in it. I recommend this one, not sponsored, but it's a great one. Get something that's going to help you look up sugar-free recipes, prepare yourself, order some sort of sweetener that might help you get yourself through the first couple months. Really set yourself up for success, and then set a date. And on that date, you quit sugar. You're just done. You quit. You may go through withdrawal. It's just a fact of quitting sugar, and it's really no big deal. Do not let that deter you. That is just it's not a myth, it happens, but it's just something that people talk about because they don't want you to quit sugar because, you know, misery loves company, right? Just kidding. But really, you might have some withdrawal. I felt a little more fatigued for the first few days, maybe a headache. I actually don't even remember, so clearly it wasn't that bad. If you feel like you're having some withdrawal from sugar, distract yourself, do whatever you can to just get past it and know that once you get to the other side of it, you never have to go through sugar withdrawal again. Yay! My challenge to you is determine when you're going to quit sugar, write out your why, and if you feel like you could do it, come here and go in the comments and let us know so we can cheer you on. Let us know when you're quitting, let us know why you're quitting, and come in here if you feel like you are being challenged and you can't get through the day or you need some help and some encouragement. That's what we're here for, so make sure that you're using the comment section or the blog or meet me on Instagram. Let us help you get through this because it is so worth it. And know that you have people in your corner, people who have gone through it, that know what you're going through and know that you can do it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That lets me know that you like the content that I'm putting out there. I would love to give you more of this content, and I will. I am here to help you with your health and wellness goals. Let's do this thing together. Until next time, thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Wow. When I would go, oops, I just think the